In this module we explain to you what containers are and how containers relate to a tool called Docker. We have seen how we can use the command line to do a series of operations that make containers work the way we want them to work. We learned how we can run a container, create a container image, how to list running containers, and how the containers that have exited and still have stayed left that can be committed into a new layer. We have seen how we can use an orchestration tool like Docker Compose to work with multiple containers with just one command, instead of managing the individual containers by hand. We also looked at where we can run containers. You can run them on a single machine, and you can run them on a container cluster. The latter is definitely the way you want to run containers in a production scenario, whereas you use the single host primarily in developer scenarios. We ended this chapter with the concepts like configuration and infrastructure as code. By using ARM templates, PowerShell and PowerShell DSC, and we finally discussed the use of a continuous delivery orchestration pipeline with, for example, a product called Visual Studio Team Services. By now you should be able to create your own containers, host them on a single machine, and configure the deployment pipeline to build and deploy your containers. In the next module, we will have a look at how we can set up container clusters in Azure using Azure Container Services. We will look at the various container orchestrators and the way we set up the management of the cluster to do proactive management of the cluster in a real production environment.